Good afternoon, Thursday, February 23rd. Another dicey day on Wall Street, huh? Let's see, let's give this a moment to get up here. I gotta get off here. Alright. Well, I'll tell you what. Bears have fumbled the ball yet again. That's 2 days in a row. Testing the 50-day moving average 2 days in a row. Got a little bit below, and then they just couldn't push. They couldn't push it any lower. 0 day till expiration call options started getting gobbled up then, and then kind of fueled on itself, and we rallied all the way back up. We didn't quite get to morning highs, but we did get close. We got real close. Unofficial close for the SPX is 40.12. I think we opened basically right here. It's another round trip of nonsense. A few things I want to talk about. Yesterday and today, starting with the Fed minutes, which I discussed were month-old data and pretty useless and whatever. Pretty useless information because it's a month old and we got a bunch of data on our economy that the Fed claims that they're data dependent. So what they said a month ago is completely obsolete. Anyways, starting then, we had a seller in ES, which is the S&P futures. We had a seller come in and just start dumping 1,000-lot orders, which 1,000-lot in ES is actually quite a bit. You'll see, areas of contention where you'll see like 200, 300, 400 lots kind of stacked up above the ask. So if the market kind of rallies up, it starts nibbling at that. Called a offer wall or a bid wall if it's underneath the market. But this was different. These guys were, whoever it was, no idea, no real way to find out. But they just they didn't have their limit orders placed, which means they just picked a price and let the market, eat away at it. They literally just dumped the thing. Just at the market, dumps thousands of shares. And we saw it again this morning, and it was quite aggressive. At no point in the first hour did they really let up. They just hammered futures all morning, barely let it uptick. At one point, they're just hitting the market and offering right at the ask. So every time the market would tick up one touch, it immediately gets sold back off. Until that sell program turned off, and right when it did, call options started coming in, and we rallied all the way back up. Like I've said numerous times, it's pretty much a casino, and it's trade what you see and then get out. Don't be a hero every day. Just pick and choose your spots and grip and rip. That seller so far has not shown his face since he took us under the 50-day moving average. But it doesn't mean he's not still lingering somewhere. And of course, after hours, the sellers show back up and slowly drift us back lower to place us where they want, even though they just got slaughtered for the second day in a row. Carvana earnings came out. They lost $7 a share. That company's basically insolvent, should be zero. It's trading at $10. Boeing came out with some bad news after hours. Classic timing, down $3-4 after hours. It's all just fun and games for them, and if you're not careful, it's not for you. But if you are careful, it could be fun and games for us too. Jamie Dimon was on CNBC today. He had some interesting comments, actually kind of close to the morning session low. He said that first he said they've lost a little bit of control on inflation, which, yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious. But then he said he's optimistic about a soft landing and the economy is actually pretty strong. In different times, that'd be a bullish statement, but in these times, it's actually a bearish statement. Basically, he thinks that if the economy is strong and the Fed has lost a little bit of control on inflation, that means more rate hikes. But markets saw it differently and kind of rallied back up. NVDA came out. I think they're a big reason why we started up so much. They're up $28 to finish the day. I think they were up about 20 to start. They came out with kind of mixed earnings, but they did say some interesting stuff, like they think gaming has kind of bottomed out. Data centers have kind of bottomed out, and I think there's a huge demand for a chatgpt build out, which we discussed a couple of weeks ago about the potential of that and who benefits the most from it. And they said on their call that they think there's massive demand for that build out, and that's what the market reacted to. Their PE is like 90 something, which is outrageous, but a thing in this market that, some people, for fuck's sake, that some people like to stare at all the time, but I guess don't really understand that sometimes the market cares and sometimes it doesn't. PE on NVIDIA being 90 is normally pretty rough, but Google is, I think, a PE of 10. And we go, so the PE is too high. The PE is too high. Well, ServiceNow PE is like 450 price to earnings. But, I mean, it's been like that for 3-4 years. So if you're shorting this thing because its PE is too high, you're getting slaughtered because the market doesn't care. The market cares about is forward. What comes next? Not all these earnings are what happened last quarter. Okay, you did that. Great. That's all priced in, unless something's really off, and then they gotta reprice you the stock. But with ServiceNow, if you start shorting that thing at a high PE, you're slaughtered because the market doesn't care. It doesn't care until it does. So until then, don't look at it. It's pretty much meaningless. It'll matter someday, but right now it doesn't. So anyways, everybody's barking that NVIDIA's PE is so high and it's an easy short, but if their demand doubles and let's say the stock doubles, that PE, without even earnings going up, gets cut in half. So people like to come up with stuff to fit their narrative, to talk their book and their position, but overall, think about the future of technology and where we're going with automation, cloud. Basically everything in the future needs chips. Who's the best chip maker? There's your answer. Good luck. Shorten it. I mean, yeah, you'll have a day or two where it gets slaughtered with the rest of the market because those days are coming, but you got 2-3 days of glory, and you're gonna be real loud and talking shit on Twitter, and then it's gonna rally right back and you'll be quiet. It's just all par for the course. Try to wean out the noise and just take what the market gives you. Netflix cut. Shifting gears, Netflix was down $20 at one point today and rallied back with a little bit with the market. Only finished down 11, so like 3.5%. They cut prices in 50 countries. they're bound to do it here too in the U.S. But what are they thinking? They introduced ads, which no one's interested in getting cheaper Netflix to watch ads, and it's not because they don't want to watch ads. If you threw some ads up on the splash page of Netflix while you're searching around, no one's even gonna notice. No one's gonna care. You put a 5-second short ad, 10-second ad at the beginning of every movie or show. No one's gonna care. Literally, no one's gonna care. But they got the bright idea of making a whole new section of Netflix which has ads. It's cheaper, but then you don't get all the content. They cut the content. If they didn't cut the content, I guarantee their numbers would be way up. So it was just dumb. I just don't understand, but whatever. I guess. Well, now they're in the predicament they're in now, where they have to cut prices to keep memberships up, because that stock trades on numbers, just like Snap trades on numbers. Facebook used to trade on numbers, just user members. Disney trades on numbers now. So keep those numbers up, they have to cut prices, much like Tesla did when demand was tanking for their cars. They did a big price cut, and then another one. And then finally demand picked back up. They sold a ton of cars, but at cheaper margins. And basically all they do is, well, for Tesla anyways, all they're doing is pulling future demand forward. So at some point, the demand for the current price of, the Model Y, Model 3, whatever else, will dry up, and then they'll be back in the same predicament where if they want to keep their car sale numbers up, they'll have to cut again. So Netflix is in the midst of that, and if they cut in the U.S., means their members' numbers are down. So boost those numbers by bringing forward demand or getting people back on the platform. So in the short to medium term, till they kind of figure that out, I think that one's on our short list. Run out of breath for some reason. Let's see, the Ponzi Apple had an interesting day. This is like the number one barometer to see which way the S&P is going to go. It was up a little bit pre-market, and then they basically just started hammering it right off the bat. But then, in true form, it bottomed out and rallied all the way back up to green by the end of the day, which brought SPX with it. If you look at the daily chart on that, it's tomorrow could be interesting. It's got that look of it's on a cliff right now, and if they don't pump it up tomorrow, it could be a flush to the low 140s. It's currently at 149. If that happens, then S&P is probably going to be down 60, 70 points, which means they'll break through that 50-day moving average finally and hold, and probably go down to its 20-day, which is, I never write these down for you guys. I think not 39.40 right now. Currently it's trading 40.12. So big old red day if Apple hits the fan tomorrow. Microsoft is another one that has just been, these after hour moves are hilarious. Microsoft's another one that's just been, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight red days. Basically straight down from 272 and change. Currently trading 354, and it looked like it was probably going to break that 350 level, but somehow held on like the rest of the market did. I think there is a lot of AI hype built into this, but which is, kind of since cooled, and then you get profit taking, and then you get pukers, and then, you get these type of days. There's an old saying when you, an old saying, but it's kind of like think of like a beach ball. You got a big ass beach ball. You're in the water. You're holding it underwater, and the harder you push it down, the harder it is to hold it underwater. I think we're getting pretty close to that on Microsoft, because if NVIDIA is right, and the demand for chatgpt build out is massive, like they claim, I'm telling you, Microsoft is the biggest benefactor of that by far. You're gonna steal market share from Google, which is, I mean, that stock's down $1 a day every day now, ever since that awful presentation with their AI. Currently at 90, and that one is actually sitting on long-term support now. But just, I mean, I feel like the Microsoft move here has been overdone. I'd look for that long, unless stocks hit the fan, then I think that's a good one. If stocks hit the fan, I'd be scooping that up with two hands. Luminaire, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. They do LiDAR for automated vehicles. The tomfoolery in this market is out of hand. Just go look at Luminaire's option volume today and yesterday. The 7s, 7.5s, the calls and puts, 6.5 puts, 7 puts, 6 puts next week, 7 puts next week, 7.5 calls next week, 9.5, 10 calls, 20,000, 41,000, 20,000, 42,000. They do it on both sides, and then what they can do, money makers. Well, they are money makers, market makers. Do that so they can hold it. They hold it right in place, get everybody all hyped up, like it's gonna move, and they just don't move it, and they steal your premiums. And they do this on the most ridiculous names because they can. They're gonna end up making like 50 cents per call and put. It's pathetic and annoying, and Ken Griffin's a giant piece of shit. Citadel blows, and they're the number one contributors to that. State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, they all do it. This is their casino. If things get out of hand, I mean, this thing should be probably pushing $10 right now with that Mercedes deal, but nope, stuck right where it was yesterday. Just stuck all day. It's manipulation at its finest. So when you see these like potential squeeze moves like that, 30% shorts interest in that name, 7 days to cover, and it doesn't move on giant news like that, yeah, tough luck. They win, you lose. Keep your money, look for something else. All right, another bond auction was 7 years, pretty crappy, but yields were off quite a bit from the highs. They made highs early, but then the 10-year, I believe, closed back under 3.9. Ten-year 3.888. That's kind of a key number for these big funds. Over it's bearish for stocks, under it is bullish for stocks, and we kind of saw that when middle of the day rates came off their highs, and it's another one of the mini catalysts for our return today, our bounce anyways. I think that's it for today. We did have data this morning. Let's see. Big numbers tomorrow are PCE. That's going to be a big one. 7:30 in the morning, PCE. Today, GDP it was down a little bit. They're expecting 2.9%. It was at 2.7, which is technically bullish. Means less cuts. It's, you kind of have to think of these things. Jobless claims were down again, so labor market's still tight as fuck. That's one of the bigger ones that needs to start ticking up if you want the Fed to do anything. But tomorrow's going to be the key one. We have core PCE at 7:30. Two other ones, personal income, personal spending, and wage growth. If those two come down, I think we have and PCE comes down a little bit. I think we have a big old rally on our hands tomorrow. Those will be the key ones. There's another two that move the markets. They kind of fly under the radar and catch people off guard. They come out at 9 a.m. instead of 7:30, 9 a.m. Central. And it's the Michigan 5-year expectation and consumer sentiment. These things have notoriously snuck under the radar. We'll be up green on a day. Those numbers will hit. They won't be good, and we'll just tank hard. No one will know why. That's why. 9 a.m., put it on your calendar. Don't have big positions before that. We do have Fed members talking tomorrow. Masters and Jefferson. I don't even know who the hell Jefferson is, but these guys love to chirp, 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 and they move markets because they just can't shut up. It's like, yeah, we know what your plan is. Now just shut up for a minute. But they can't because they're narcissists and love to hear themselves speak. All right, I'm going to start rambling. Jamie Dimon's on CNBC again tonight with Kramer. I think 5 o'clock Central Time. It'll be interesting to see what he says. I do think he's one of the bigger frauds in the industry. Like when he said Bitcoin was a giant piece of shit, but then started a Bitcoin trading desk. Little stuff like that. He does it all the time. He also is, I think FTX had a bunch of accounts with him, so he just likes money. Nothing, doesn't care about you, me, anybody else. He just likes money, so. But it will be interesting to see what he says because, why not? Why not? Alright, so tomorrow I'm looking for Carvana, such trash. Unchanged. After losing $7 a share. Just pathetic numbers. I think that's it. Chips are all up today. SAS all down today. Oh, I didn't talk about, guess I'll touch on it a little bit. Palo Alto. It's a cybersecurity stock. F this, I gotta get out. Wait for it. They were up, they smashed, and I feel like in the world of uncertainty, they're going to continue smashing. They always smash, but they always seem to smash on like the worst down days ever. They were down big when they came out, so they kind of got screwed. But anyways, keep an eye on that one. I love cybersecurity. I mean, hacks aren't going anywhere. They're just increasing. So, and they're one of the best in the biz. There's another one. I forget where they went, but Proofpoint got bought out by someone. They were a fantastic company. Anywho's, Palo Alto is the number one now. So I like that one long term on big dips. And I think that's it for today. Let's cut this one shorter because yesterday was so long. Got it. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Alright, be safe. We'll see you guys. We'll do one more tomorrow afternoon and then call it a weekend. North Korea says it has conducted a strategic cruise missile launching drill. Yeah, how many times have you guys done that? It's just the North Korea frauds. They can suck it. Alright, I'm starting to get off track a little bit. Alright. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe. 7:30 numbers come out. 9 a.m. Those Michigan numbers come out as well. So Be smart, be safe, and love you. See you guys later.